Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 3 here in the Olimoleague. First best of 3 of the day. The winner of this actually ends up moving on to fight against Keen, so we may just follow this series. It's worth noting Sulky did defeat Alive while this was going on, and he fights against Billowy elsewhere. The way this will probably work out for us, though... Reality forfeited. That's a bit unfortunate. Again, we'll probably follow the winner of this versus Keen, try and do both semifinals and the grand finals for today. So the Olimoleague action, gonna get as much of it as we can. Top right side of Dust Towers, though, we got the red Terran player, GuMiho.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it's SeeD.
I guess I'm assuming it goes without saying, but if you can message Olivia and just let her know that we do, in fact, want to do both semifinals, so she knows.
Okay.
Man, there's some stuff I really want to talk about for the Olimoleague, like our plans for the year, but we can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Sad. But the one thing I can and would like to talk to you guys about is, well, twofold. One is, of course, if you're in Toronto, the invite to come hang out with us today for the Base Rate TV meetup still extends. I know there's going to be about 10 or 15 people coming to hang out later tonight, so if you guys are in the Toronto area, if you're in Ontario, you're wondering, like, is the trip worth it? There's going to be a couple of players there. I know that we talked to Masa and Hendrilisk and Huck, and they are all interested in going. No Regret's going to be there too, I think. We got some other fans, some friends, some lovely ladies who met at a party last night. It should be some fun times tonight. So please, if you guys are in Ontario, we encourage you to come hang out with us later today. It'll be down between 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Ooh. Talk about what GuMiho's doing here in a sec. Last but not least, guys, a lot of people are actually sending me messages intermittently about, you know, how's things going with the house. When do you guys go back home? The 14th. We are back on the 14th of January. We go back to our own homes. And as far as how the, I guess, month went, we're going to make a vlog about it. So no spoilers, but you'll find out on YouTube, ideally, before the 14th.
Yeah. So GuMiho goes for a bit of an interesting CC first. So this isn't, you know, Reapers or anything like that. No, just, you know, production needed after going for a command center. What was interesting, though, is they did go for basically mass production first and then worried about teching later, where there are a couple options when you go for a CC. I mean, you can go 2 racks and then the gas, and then get to the factory be a little bit sooner, then another gas soon after that. Or you can just go 3 racks and have, you know, a lot of small marine production, if that's the best way to put it. Certainly, if they're going for like a Stargate, you want the Marines first. If they're going for any type of early push and you didn't have your natural cover, then you wanted Marines to deal with that. But actually, what it is a fast third from SeeD. So
that's actually really sick, in my opinion, because when you see 3 racks like this, or at least from what he saw, I think we all know Reapers are pretty garbage versus Protoss. Nobody thinks that's going to be Reapers. If you're Zerg, that actually could be a Reaper build. If you scout that, you should be scared. But because it's Protoss, he knows it was a CC first behind it, and he's just taking advantage of GuMiho's paranoia.
Yeah. It really is quite disturbing how effective this probably is going to be. Now, I say probably because, you know, you look at this and you're like, okay, this is a brilliant move because SeeD, you know, knows that, okay, he won't have medevacs for a long time. He delayed, you know, gases a little bit because he went for command center first, of course, and also because he went for 3 racks first. And he's also getting stim and +1 first, too. So I don't have to worry about drops, and I really shouldn't have to worry about a frontal push either, because Terrans don't do those pushes that try and pop the mothership core overcharge anymore. It's useless to try and do that. However, Rifkin did this first, so let's give him credit, right?
Uh-oh. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not.
I believe it was actually GuMiho in the OSC who did this as well. You actually still take as many units, like many ground units as you possibly can, and you just run past the pylons.
Yeah.
Like, again, I say Rifkin did this first, and it's a joke because, like, no one really cares about our games and our leagues, right? And that's absolutely true, but the point is, a Terran, and I think it was GuMiho, but I couldn't confirm, did do that, and it wasn't game-winning, I don't think, but it was surprisingly effective.
You get more kills from probes than you expect doing it.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening a lot of the time. And to explain a little bit further, most of the time it is, if they're going to play greedy like this, a lot of the emphasis goes not on building 7 adepts waiting for your army at the top of the ramp, but again, yeah, relying on pylons and getting quick tech behind it. So
look at the army.
Yeah, if GuMiho had actually walked across the map with this, and
there was no mothership core. There was no mothership core, Rifkin.
Well,
only just finished.
Yeah, there's that factor too. Now he's a little bit problematic because he's gonna have the Warp Prism to deal with at home. I mean, turrets are being built. Marines are in position. He's scanning to see what's coming where. He sees that third base. That's a scary thing to see. But gotta kill that warp prism before anything else.
Yeah.
The dips are a little too strong otherwise.
So they use a lot of Marines, but Combat Shield is not done. Does have Stim. I think this is okay. Yeah, the Stim, it's okay. Obviously annoying, and
so,
well, that's cleaned up.
I want to talk a little bit on not necessarily racial balance. If I say that, I feel like that's going to get the chat a little too riled up. But there's a lot of theories on how you can fix things in the game. Again, sometimes Adepts look really overpowered, sometimes they look like garbage. One thing I would like to see is, back in the day, this nerf was necessary to Terran because it was all Marines and SCVs getting pulled because SCVs had like 60 health. I would love if SCVs had just barely enough health, like 55 or something, or just enough that the Adepts couldn't two-shot them. I know we're looking at making Adepts armored and nerfing this and that and trying to take everyone down a peg, but why not just bring that back up a little bit? I mean, no one's really doing worker all-ins, and I don't think the extra 10 health will change that.
I'm not sure. Terrans have been very scrappy in the past. Like, you give them something and they're going to abuse it.
They're just like, okay, we got 5 extra health. How can we absolutely make this broken?
Yeah, actually.
Alright, so Stim coming in. Anyways, we'll talk more on that later. It wasn't a balanced suggestion at all on my end. SV's getting pulled into the mess. It means he's going to lose a couple. That kind of sucks because he's already lost 15 prior to this going down. Half the worker count of SeeD, and GuMiho is in a lot of trouble. A lot of this isn't because he played poorly either. SeeD just really took advantage of GuMiho's opening in this game.
Yeah. GuMiho was so desperate, both in defense as well as offense. Well, that's a nice pickoff. That
was a really nice pickup because it didn't get that pylon.
Yeah.
Now just cleaning up units as they warp in.
Well, this is very good for the probe damage. They're... okay, we're up.
I like this. He's just getting on top of the warpers as they come in. This is so sick for GuMiho.
Yeah.
This is the counterattack damage he needs, but it still might not be good enough.
So he was so desperate that he actually just got one medevac. This is the one medevac before start putting on a reactor. Like, that's how desperate he was to try and get both the medevacs out to heal his units for the defense, but also to have at least one drop going on. And thank God that he did. Without that drop, even with the medevac healing at home, he still would have taken all of that SCV damage and returned none of his own, which would have been absolutely just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, make no mistake, GuMiho's still not exactly in a prime position right now either, but this is better than having done nothing. Yeah. It's a shame we didn't see a Liberator or a Viking come out sooner. We've got double Liberators now to hunt down that Warp Prism at the very least, but the one thing that's nice for GuMiho is with the sentry-heavy army, there's not storms, there's not a lot that's actually scary. Blink's done okay, sure, but I kind of feel like as long as this bio army fights underneath the Liberators and doesn't overextend to get caught by force fields, GuMiho's defense should be okay.
Yeah.
He's got the upgrade lead, he's got an army supply that's more than efficient to deal with this, as long as he doesn't get too greedy. If he overextends, he's going to have a really bad time.
So the Observer sees Liberator's siege up, and that might itself be like enough to say no thank you.
Is he going to go aggressive with this? Pick up those units. Save him, man. Save him. Not gonna.
He intended to, but it just failed on the execution. That was weird.
Oh, this goes on. He decides to go for a drop other side of the field. Mothership core right bloody there.
Yeah.
Realizing, nope, 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 nope.
Oh, Jesus.
The range on that thing is crazy.
It's crazy. It used to be.
Alright, scans, I don't know where he scanned.
The army, potentially? Oh, it's
server. Okay. It's one of mine. As long as it gets a decent hit, takes out a lot of the sentries. The Adepts don't matter. If the Stalkers go down, nothing will take those Liberators out. Last Stalker going on. Now, of course, this Liberator can eventually hold this. He actually holds the line. Did not need to pull SCVs in the field, but he's going to get on top of the Immortals. Those concussive shells going to hunt this army down. The SCVs just soaking some of these hits, and SeeD's army is falling apart. But GuMiho, put those SCVs back to work, man.
He is running low on units. That Blink Stalker warp-in was really quite important, but there are his own reinforcements. One Liberator is still alive, and all of the Woodamines are back and fully charged, so SeeD won't be pushing up this ramp anytime soon, I feel. I think, with the Immortals, he had a shot. With the Sentries, of course, they were doing they're doing okay, actually. Not, super good. But now, without all of that, just Blink Stalkers will die to upgraded Stim. bio with Medevacs.
Yeah, I mean, Marauders are already exceptionally good at dealing with Marauders. An upgrade lead like this would be fantastic. Links up to the high ground, though. Oh, my God. He's warping in some sentries. This means that GuMiho's got to go. He doesn't have the Widow Mines up here. This is really tragic because those 3 Widow Mines can make a huge difference in this fight. Marines also fighting outside the range of that Liberator, going to get quite dangerous quite quick. We'll see if GuMiho can hold. His barracks getting focused down. He's going to lose one of his Marauder productions, but I think he's got this.
I think so. His other production is still going strong. He still has the Widow Mines, of course, too, and the Liberator siege up's finally in position to help out.
Here's one of the problems, though. Even if he holds this, he's still not dealing counterattack damage anymore behind this. That drop from earlier did get cleaned up, and SeeD's sitting on 60 probes behind his 3 bases with pretty much nothing to hurt him.
Oh, he really wants that Warp Prism. Unfortunately, he just has, like, that's like 2 Marines in there.
I know, and they're both almost dead. These are all Marauders just trying to hopefully chase this down. I don't know why the mouse is doing what it's doing. I mean, I guess the Marauders, we go pick up the Stalkers.
The micro battle is pretty intense here, but the Liberator might even be sacked to try and get that Warp Prism.
I mean, killing this Warp Prism is that big of a deal.
Oh, come on.
That is very unfortunate.
Oh, that is too bad.
But, okay, so let's reassess really quick. GuMiho, again, still upgrade lead. That's huge. SeeD, with all the Chrono Boosts in the world, is going to struggle to catch up on upgrades. That sucks. SeeD's also really far down in resources lost. Bad cost-effective engagements. However, again, he's got more economy, he's got better economy, his income has been more consistent while these fights have been going on. So, I don't know, I feel like the thing I think is going to kill SeeD is just going to be not having disruptors or not having store.
Splash, yeah. Lack of splash, and while a lot of gateway units can be good, as seen in other Legacy of the Void games, they are usually accompanied with some upgrades, and this is just entirely upgradeless, so these really are going to be weaker and weaker.
I mean, yeah, he's got Blink and Resonating Glaives, and that's cool, but is that enough? I'm thinking no, but we're going to find out. He goes up the ramp to try and break it. Widow Mines are going to get detected this time. This was a bit of a problem before, but that line of fire, that firefight in front of the Sentry Force Fields, not looking too bad.
Oh, he even had, like, I think 2 Medevacs still full, so he unloads there, and that actually is a much bigger bio army.
But these Adepts, oh, these Adepts on top of those Widow Mines, maybe? Got to be careful.
Yeah. His production actually finishes, and he just uses them as Marine production for now. Doesn't want to take the time to add on the reactors and the tech labs. Behind this, SeeD could be expanding. He has started to bank quite a few minerals, and I really think that that's a better use to just be like, okay, I gotta wait for my next production. But it's you know, if he thinks he can break it, that's up to him. But nope, he retreats, and GuMiho, I guess, detects it, feels it, whatever, starts adding on his add-ons to his barracks. He doesn't have to worry so much about putting on the 4th Command Center as, you know, of course, Terran. He just lived through main base. And on Dust Towers, fortunately, you don't have to have a planetary at your 4th, because that's still going to be your rally point. You know, harassment won't be such a big deal to deal with if it's on a planetary, although it is helpful.
I am loving seeing this really heavy Widow Mine count, by the way. We've talked so many times in Zerg matchups, in Protoss matchups, where it feels like everyone forgot about these already good units in efforts to make things like Liberators, but the Widow Mines have seriously been amazing so far this game. Even if they haven't killed much, the threat has been really big. Yeah. Now this Warp Prism, I mean, you can't really get here to the natural. It
definitely would. The Widow Mines can also be placed around the map because, I mean, God knows, like, no matter what time it is, mid-game, late-game, super late-game, a Warp Prism and harassment's always worth it, especially like Dark Shrine comes in later, and you want those Widow Mines actually providing that protection for your bases. But the Liberators take out this Warp Prism finally. This Warp Prism's been around for a long time, and now the Command Center should be lifted off to the 4th.
Yeah.
GuMiho has such a supply lead, but the Disruptors could easily change that if he gets too aggressive.
Right, and I do worry that GuMiho may have given too much time to SeeD. Because SeeD, you know, before, he wasn't even thinking about Disruptors. He wasn't even thinking about +1. This push has got to hit at this really sweet timing. Now, if the Disruptor gets focused down, keep in mind, oh, those Force Cells are really well paired with it. If the Disruptor gets focused down, the damage won't go off. Nice flank with the Widow Mines.
Yeah, that's quite clever. Now, there are 2 more Disruptors on the way.
Oh.
Or one more Disruptor on the way? I thought there was 2.
Going to use the Liberators to zone them out, so even if they want to come down, they're not going to be able to join the party. Liberators in 2 very interesting spots. Widow Mine's position is very key as well.
Oh, gotta be so careful. 2 Disruptors, they're on cooldown, but they're looking to be sniped, and they actually are sniped.
Oh, GuMiho, I think is gonna do it. The God. Widow Mines from the backside take out a quarter of the Stalkers. Not even like the Liberators are that big of a deal anymore. It's the Bio Army that is truly gonna kill him. That 1-1 upgrade These stalkers can't focus down enough before they get taken out, and that's going to be it for SeeD. Natural base, third base, everything's going to fall. GG! That was wonderful from GuMiho.